Hello world! So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Beth Brown. I'm a professional photographer and I'm also the creator of Seeing Myself in a New Light, which is a program that I put together to support people with healing their identity after trauma and learning to love themselves and flourish again as God has intended for us. So I'm excited because February 28th and March 1st and 2nd, I'm going to be doing a thought challenge. It's a free 3-day challenge. So I'm excited because our thought lives are very important. In fact, those thoughts that we have will either make or break our futures in many cases. But what I actually want to talk to you today about is sleep. Okay, so this actually is not in my challenge that I've put together to support everyone with flourishing. This is something that it does not matter if you take my thought challenge and every other thought challenge in the world or sign up for my healing identity program. If we do not have sleep, if we do not rest, then it's kind of almost like everything else goes out the window, all right? So any of my friends who know me will probably find this ironic when they hear me speak about the importance of sleep and rest. So yes, I am talking to myself as much as I am talking to everyone else. So this is my first question for everyone about sleep and rest. What has your environment taught you about rest? Okay, this is a question we can ask ourselves in any situation, right? Whether it comes to our relationships, our eating habits, our careers, whatever it happens to be, this question about what our environment has taught us is definitely something that can be universally applied to any situation. However, for today, I want you to think about it in terms of rest. So, I live in New York City. It is the city that never sleeps, okay? So, it's also the city of hustle and grind. It's a city where I've heard more often than any other place I've been, I'll sleep when I'm dead. All right, so my environment has taught me a lot about sleep. Maybe it's been underrated. Also growing up, right? My mom every year, and this is no shade to my dad, but my mom every year wanted to take a vacation where we would chill, sit back, rest, relax. Never happened. In fact, our vacations were like jam-packed, right? I think my father might have been more busy or active on vacations than he was during the week when he was going to work for all the other 50 days out of the year, or not 50 days out of the year, 50 weeks out of the year. So my environment growing up, even in my home, was taught that, one should just keep going, all right? So this is how I have learned that in my life, rest, it's nice, but it's not something that I've put on a top priority, but it should be. Why? Well, I'm going to give you 5 reasons why. This actually is not one of the 5, but sleep experts recommend 7 to 9 hours of sleep every night, okay? Why would they do so? Why is sleep so important? Now, I do like to call sleep beauty rest. In fact, actually here I've titled it beauty rest because I do find personally, my vanity does respond better to getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep every night if I think I'm doing it, to look pretty, than if I think of the other reasons. But let's talk about that first one, the superficial reasons, right? But it's also important because it is very important that we do look as beautiful as, God intended us to. So during sleep, these are some things that happen. Cortisol, which is a stress hormone, it actually decreases, right? It's a good thing to eliminate stress, right? When we are stress-free naturally, we are more beautiful. Studies have also shown that new skin cells, this is when they are developing the quickest, right? So things like collagen production, that's happening more than when we're awake. That's when that's happening. Probably, I'm not a scientist, this is just from my own research, but it seems that blood flow to the skin increases during our sleep. So that would make sense. We have more blood flow, our skin, our cells, they're rejuvenating, they're getting that hydration and the minerals and everything that they need to repair themselves for the next day. All right, this would also result in fewer wrinkles, clearer, glowing skin, and that phrase, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, yes, it's a real thing with beauty sleep. And obviously the result of all of this would be, if I look better, I'm going to feel better about myself, right? I'm going to step out and my self-esteem is going to ultimately be higher. So this is one reason why, and this is my first reason why beauty sleep rest is so important. All right, now let's dive deeper into the brain, which is where the thought challenge is going to be coming in at the end of February, okay? Sleep improves our memories, okay? Our focus is easier to manage. Our brains are sharper. Therefore, when we learn new information, we're more likely to remember it. It's also, if we can remember easier, if we're the opposite and not rested, we're going to forget. That's reason number 2, okay? So it's good for our brain's memory. All right. Now, studies have shown, this is my third reason, that there is a connection between sleep and decision making. All right. Now, this also comes into our thought life, right? Every day we're thinking, we're making decisions they could be small, minor decisions like what am I going to eat this morning to what time am I going to go to bed? But it could be a major decision like, do I want to make a career change, right? Or decisions when we're driving, or any type of decision that we make throughout the day. So when we have less sleep, we make riskier choices. This is what studies have shown. And when we get more sleep, our decision making is more stable because we have an increase in self-awareness, and we also are less impulsive, all right? So therefore, this is very, very important for our thinking all throughout the day. All right, now, again, emotions, okay? And our emotions do happen in part, not always, but in part because of our thoughts in our brains, right? So when we do not have enough rest, we become more anxious, we become more stressed easier, okay? So our emotions are going to be more negative. Whoops, I realize I am out of frame. They're going to be more negative. We are going to feel things like anger and frustration. We're going to feel those negative things, fear, those things that then are going to go back and actually maybe influence our decisions. Those things are going to be more negative when we're not well rested. So it would stand to reason that if we are rested, we're going to be more likely to have positive thoughts, be more likely to have, as a result of those positive thoughts and emotions, less risky decisions, right? More sound decisions that we make. So we're going to make our decisions from positive places, and we're going to have experiences with our emotions, and therefore in our relationships from a more positive mind frame. We'll have a greater sense of joy, peace, right? The opposite of stress, peace, calm, okay? So our sleep is so important. It's really, really connected with our mental health, with our mental well-being, and our ability to care for ourselves and even others in our relationships. Because who wants to be in a relationship with someone who's like constantly stressed and overwhelmed because they're just sleep deprived, right? So this is just like something that it can easily fix our relationships, our job performance, our businesses, and even our relationship with ourselves and even God. So the last thing that sleep is connected to is depression that I want to speak about, at least for today. There are definitely other things that sleep is connected to. These are only 5. All right. Now, this is a bit kind of like the chicken or the egg, because sometimes lack of sleep is a symptom of depression. However, I want to speak about it in the sense of not getting enough sleep triggering depression. All right. Because there are all these chemicals in our bodies. For example, if I go back a few, right, to reason number 1, the decrease when we are sleeping of cortisol, which is that stress hormone, right? So if we're sleeping, we're going to be reducing the stress in our bodies, versus when we're not sleeping, we're going to become more stressed. It could ultimately cause other things to manifest in our lives, such as depression. Or if someone is already in a depressed state, the depression could become worse. So this is not in the thought challenge that I am going to be doing soon from February 28th to March 2nd. But this sleep concept challenge, I think I might eventually create a sleep challenge, because this is so important, because it really goes with our thought life. And so I was thinking about this, and I was thinking, well, I could do this thought challenge and it might help people, right? To understand what's going on in their brain better with how they're thinking. But what good is it if I don't give them other information, right? Sleep and rest being so very, very important. And so obviously I want to help you all with that. I created a little sleep game. I'm really excited about it. So what you can do is at the bottom underneath this video, you can drop a yes, or comment a yes, or comment me, and I will send you the sleep game that I created to help you be able to do better with getting rest, because I can give you all these facts. Probably a lot of these facts that I just gave you aren't even new to you, right? But then you have this information, right? But then you need a tool in order to be able to use that information and actually make it work for you. So I created this sleep game. It's also free. And so let me know if you want that. I'm happy to send it to you. And also let me know, you can drop below in the comments a yes or a me, sign me up, if you want to register for the thought challenge that is also going to be happening soon. All right, have a great day. And this evening, I hope that you have a restful night. All right, peace.